Hello book besties, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about today's video because I've never seen this done before. I'm not saying it hasn't, I've just never seen it done, and I was trying to think of a really fun way to do my March TBR. And even though Easter is like the last day of the month, it's still technically in March. So we're gonna do an Easter egg hunt to see what I will be reading this month. What I've done is pick 21 or 22 books off of my physical TBR. These are books that I'm really excited to read out of the like 150 on my shelf. These are the ones that like at the moment feel like a big priority to me. And we have 8 Easter eggs. These are so cute. They're like little animals. Anyways, so I'm gonna cut these out and then my kids are going to pick 2 each. They have no clue what these books are. They're just going to pick 2 based on the title, and then they're going to fill the egg with a book. They're going to hide the eggs from me, and then I have to go find them. Then we will come back, pull the books, see what I'm reading this month. I am gonna give myself like 1 pass. Even though I picked these 21 books out, there are some that are a much bigger priority and like I'm hoping the kids pick from. So I am allowing myself 1 swap out basically. Like if they pick one that I'm like, no, I really would rather read this one, I get to do that 1 time. Otherwise, they're picking my books. So hopefully this goes really well, and let's find out what I'll be reading in March.
I found it.
It's a stupid name.
I'm gonna do this one. I found it.
I don't even know what this means. Just gonna put that right there. Wall of Winnipeg.
Winnie Pooh, yeah.
Us.
I feel like you guys did me dirty and I'm not gonna find anything. Did you put them in boxes?
No.
Promise? What? You're not good at looking. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Mom, seriously, this now.
Halfway there. Six.
Oh my god. You are so cold.
I'm cold.
You are freezing.
7.
Wow.
Alright, 1 more. Oh, I see it.
That was such a good idea.
Done. Success. Okay, I was gonna take you into the library, but the kids insisted on me opening the eggs in front of them to see my reaction. Alright, this is Jamin's road sleeve here. Did you pick that one? Because I literally just bought it.
Yes.
I'm so excited. That was a really good pick. Josie's egg? I found you. Okay, that's a thriller. I don't do a lot of thrillers, but I'm really excited about that one. All right, Jenna's pick. Love Letters to Whiskey. Why did you pick this one?
Because I thought it was whispering and I was like, I didn't even know, so I just picked it.
That's probably top of my list. Blue Bunny.
Mine.
Josie. Bridge Kingdom, nice, a fantasy. So you picked a thriller and a fantasy, which is good. Keeps things like mixed up. Orange Bunny?
Me.
Jamie.
Jamin. The Bromance Book Club.
The bromance?
Of course my son picked Bromance Book Club. That's been on my TBR for so long. So thank you. Now I finally actually have to read it. The Shark was Jada. Arch Enemies. Do you know which one that is?
Yes, it's the one after the Renegade.
The second book to Renegades, which they picked for me another time. Yay, now I'm forced to read book 2. Okay, Pink Bunny.
Mine.
Also you, Jada. Ghosted. That's a romance that's honestly been on my TBR.
It's a romance?
Yes. I It's been on my TBR for so long. I'm actually really excited about it. Although, I mean, I picked these books. Of course, I'm excited about all of them. But you guys have picked really good so far. And Jenna last. I knew she'd pick this. A Cowboy for Keeps. Of course she picked that just based on the title. All right, let's go pull these books and I will show you guys. That was so much fun. Nope. It literally never fails that I drop the books. Okay, I pulled the books. Let's see what we're working with and see if I'm going to swap any of them. But I think that they did really good. They picked some that were at the top of the 21 books that I gave them to work with, and some that I probably would have had more towards the bottom, which makes me happy because it forces me to read one that, yes, I really want to read, but we all know how those are. It's like, I really want to read that book, but I probably never actually will. So they did good. This was so fun. Let's get into these books. So first, and probably the one I'm most excited about, is A Love Letter to Whiskey. Do I have a clue what this is about? No, I don't. I saw another YouTuber that I really like and I have a very similar reading taste to. We both love a good slow burn and she highly recommended this one. I'd already had it on my Kindle Unlimited library, but I was like, you know what? I'm probably gonna want to mark that, tab it, annotate it. So I did end up buying myself the physical copy because this is like the newer special like revised edition. It doesn't tell us a whole lot of what it's about. All it says is, I saw him first, but it didn't matter because he saw her. He was my best friend and I was his. We couldn't be together, but we couldn't stand to be apart. And if you're not truly lovers, but you're so much more than friends, what exactly are you? It's an absolute masterpiece for angst lovers. Love angst. I mean, give me all the angst. So I'm just really happy that one of my children was smart enough to pick this book. The other one that was on the top of my list that I'm so happy they picked is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I now officially own 3 books by Mariana Zapata, and I haven't read a single one. So I don't know why, like, it's this author that I feel like I'm going to love her books so much. They are slow burns, angsty. I know a lot of people don't really prefer a slow burn, but give me 600 pages of angst. I'm here for it. Like, I'll read a 1,000-page slow burn. I'm like positive that I'm gonna love this author, and now I'm finally actually going to read one of her books. Would this have been my first choice to start with of her books? No, I think that Wall of Winnipeg is probably my first choice, and I'm tempted to swap. I am tempted, but 2 MZ books in 1 month plus Love Letter to Whiskey, I don't know, it might be too much, so I'll decide at the end. But this one is about a girl, Aurora, who is moving back to her hometown in Colorado. After breaking up with her longtime famous musician boyfriend, she decides to hide out in a small town in the mountains where her landlord, Tobias, is quite attractive. It says checking out her landlord who lives across the driveway just might cure her too. But he didn't technically rent it out to her. He rented it to his teenage son. He's fiercely protective of his family and distrusting of strangers, gruff and grumpy, say less. He initially keeps her at a distance, but over the days, weeks, long hikes, fireside chat, Aurora breaks down his walls, and soon an unbreakable friendship blossoms. I am here for all of those vibes. The grumpy man, the sunshine girl, the nature setting, which I hear is awesome in this book. I'm just really excited about this one. Another romance that they picked for me is Ghosted. This has been ridiculously high on my TBR since 2023. And now I'm finally gonna read it. Another booktuber is the only person I've ever seen read this book, talk about this book. It's a single mother type of love story, and the kid in it, I guess, is really cute. It seems like it's a famous, like, Hollywood heartthrob that meets this single mother who's just an assistant manager at a grocery store raising her 5-year-old daughter. Once they were just a boy and a girl that bonded over comic books and fell in love unexpectedly. So it's probably like a second chance romance romance. It was just the rave review that made me really interested in this book. And a fantasy they picked is The Bridge Kingdom, another book that has been on my TBR for way too long. Again, I had it on Kindle Unlimited for a long time and never read it, so I thought maybe buying the physical copy, because honestly, this cover is really pretty. Maybe that would convince me to read it. Now, my kids picked it, so like I have to read it. This is another fantasy that I don't know a whole lot about. It is older, but it has great reviews, and it's just one that I'm like, I finally want to read it. The blurb at the top says, "What if you fell in love with the one person you'd sworn to destroy? Heart-pounding romance and intense action wrapped in a spellbinding world." Sounds perfect. Next is A Cowboy for Keeps. I'm pretty sure that a friend of mine recommended this one to me, but also it's Colorado Cowboys, and that's like the series it's a part of, so say less. Anything to put me in Colorado, I'm here for it. It says, Greta Nilsson's trip was to save her ailing little sister Astrid. It could not have gone more wrong. First, bandits hold up her stagecoach. Okay, so it's like a time period piece if she's riding in a stagecoach. They steal all her money. Then, upon arriving in Fairplay, Colorado, she learns the man she was betrothed to as a mail order bride has died. What? Okay, this has a lot more plot to it. I thought this was just like a sweet romance, but there's like a lot happening here. Homeless, penniless, and jobless, Greta and her sister are worse off than they started. Wyatt McQuaid is struggling to get his new ranch up and running and is in town to purchase cattle when the mayor proposes the most unlikely of bargains. He will invest in a herd of cattle for the ranch if Wyatt agrees to help the town become more respectable by marrying and starting a family with Greta. Sounds interesting. And again, just a really beautiful cover. Now, I don't know if I'm like surprised or not surprised at all that my son picked the book titled The Bromance Book Club. Another book that has been on my TBR for actual years. I appreciate that now I have to read this book. This is about a sports team. Oh, it's a baseball team, which is cool because you don't get a lot of baseball romance. This baseball team starts a romance book club so that they can better like understand and maybe love their wives. And that's really all I know about this book, other than the fact that like everyone loves this. So it is time for me to finally read it. And the only thriller that was picked, probably the only thriller that was even on the list, is I Found You by Lisa Jewell. I'm not a thriller girly. I feel like when I read thrillers, I do typically enjoy them, but I burn out very quickly. And the one author that I read this year and loved, it was a Lisa Jewell book that I really enjoyed, and then my friend who is like the thriller queen is the one who bought it for me like last year for my birthday. So it is time for me to read this one and trust her because she kind of knows my thriller taste. So hopefully this one is spot on. This single mom finds a man sitting on the beach. He has no name and no idea how he got there. Meanwhile, a woman in London is anxious when her husband fails to return home from work, but soon the police deliver even more disturbing news that the man she married never truly existed. That's crazy. So who's the man on the beach? Where is Lily's missing husband? And whatever happened to the man who made such a lasting impression on Gray? I'm very excited to read another Lisa Jewell book and see if I like it just as much as the one I did read. And the last book that was chosen for me is Arch Enemies. So, backstory to this. Last year, before I took a little hiatus, 8-month-long hiatus from BookTube, I recorded a really fun video that I never ever put out. I went to the bookstore with my family and they picked books for me to read. And my children picked Renegades. So I read it last summer and I loved it. Like, I was so surprised how much I liked that book. This is book 2, so I think that that must be why my daughter picked this one, because she knew that I really enjoyed book 1 that they picked for me. So that was smart of her. And I really have been so eager to continue on in the series. It's very like superhero vibes and it feels kind of YA, which is not normally my thing, but it was so fun and had some elements to it that made it more mature. And again, I've been really excited to continue with the series. It's just not one that like I've pulled, you know? So I'm actually really happy she picked this. I'm excited to read it. And that leaves me with the question of if I'm going to swap any of these books. So if I want to swap, it has to be one that was already on that list of like 21 books. So I'm gonna think for a minute and report back because I need to like analyze this for a second. I grabbed the ones that they didn't use. This is so hard because like I genuinely want to read all of these books and I'm really happy with the ones they chose. So I feel like I should stick with that, but let's see. Cozy mystery. They didn't pick a cozy mystery, but I do have the thriller. Better Than the Movies was one that I really did want to get to because I've yet to read a Lynn Painter book and I feel like I'm not even welcome in the book community without having read a Lynn Painter book. Is that one? No, that's okay. Those ones I'm like, that's fine, they pick better. Ooh, I did really want to read that one. So there's 3 that I'm like contemplating that I would have been really happy if they chose too. I just really don't know which one to swap it out for. Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, Wall of Winnipeg, which is so stinking high on my list, but like I said, I'm already reading a Mariana Zapata. I feel like I should skip on that one. So the only other one is Happy Ever After Playlist by Abby Jimenez. What would I swap it for though? I do have 2 fantasy books right now, and am I in the mood for 2 fantasy books? I don't know. Okay, I'm really contemplating if I eliminate a fantasy. Oh my gosh, I literally don't know what to do here. Okay, I have decided that I'm going to swap out The Bridge Kingdom. Even though I sat there and talked about how this has been on my list for years, I am in the middle of several fantasy series right now, and I had told myself that I would not start another fantasy series until I catch up on some of the ones I'm currently in the middle of. If you are a huge fan, I apologize. I know that I have a few friends that have been waiting for me to read this book. I will get to it eventually. I just don't want to read multiple fantasy, and maybe I'll change my mind. You know what? If later in the month I decide to swap again, that's okay. I can do that. So now I just have to decide between these 2 books. Better Than the Movies or the Happy Ever After Playlist. So now, which one do I choose? Like, I really want to pick a Lynn Painter because like I said, I've yet to read a Lynn Painter, but this one is kind of part of a series, The Friend Zone, that I have already read. So again, it comes down to like that series feeling, like I kind of just want to stick to series and finish them. Ugh, I don't know what to do. Why is this so hard? Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put them behind my back and I'm gonna shout to my children to pick right or left hand. Jada, right or left hand? Right. The Happy Ever After Playlist. Okay, it's done. I'm not swapping again. This is what I'm gonna use and add to my TBR. That was so stressful. That is a wrap. That is my March TBR. I hope that you had fun watching. As much fun as I had doing that like really unique way of figuring out what I'm reading in March. I hope that your March TBR is amazing, and if you haven't yet and you enjoyed this video, I would love if you would hit subscribe and stick around. Let me know what book is like top on your March TBR. If there's any on mine that you're so excited for me to read, I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.